Why high-value men ignore women, what they know that you don't. There is a man that women cannot figure out. They can't control him, they can't manipulate him, they can't get him to chase. And the more they try, the more he pulls back. And it drives them crazy, not because he's playing games, not because he doesn't like women, but because he operates from a completely different standard than the average man. He's a high-value man. And the way he moves around women is unlike anything most men have ever been taught. Most men were raised to pursue, to chase, to prove themselves to women, to wait, to be patient, to keep trying even when everything is telling them to walk away. And that programming is exactly what keeps most men stuck, because a high-value man doesn't operate that way. He doesn't chase, he doesn't wait, he doesn't compromise his mission for anyone. And understanding why he moves the way he moves will change everything about how you show up in your own life. So let's break this down. Here is what a high-value man actually does and why it works. The first thing you need to understand is that a high-value man does not give free attention. Women love attention. They thrive on it. They seek it. And when you give it freely, when you're always available, always responding, always showing up the moment she calls, you become ordinary. You become expected. And what is expected has no value. A high-value man understands that his attention is currency. It is one of the most powerful things he has, and he does not give it away for free. He does not flood her inbox. He does not double text. He does not drop everything the moment she reaches out. His attention is earned. And when a woman feels that, when she realizes your attention is not just available to anyone who asks, she values it differently. She values you differently. Free attention tells a woman you have nothing else going on. Selective attention tells her you have a whole life she hasn't been invited into yet. That's the difference. The second thing is that a high-value man is busy with purpose. He is not sitting around waiting for a woman to give his life meaning. He has a mission. He has goals. He has something he is building that matters to him more than the validation of any woman. He is ambitious. He is driven. And that ambition is not an act. It is who he is. He doesn't simp. He doesn't reorganize his schedule around a woman who hasn't even proven she deserves a place in his life. He wakes up with a purpose, and he goes to bed having moved toward it. A woman fits into that life or she doesn't. But the mission never stops for anyone. And here's what most men don't understand. That drive, that ambition, that laser focus on building something, that is one of the most attractive things a man can possess. Women are drawn to a man who is going somewhere, not because they want to use him, but because a man with a mission carries an energy that is undeniable. The third thing is that a high-value man is brave. He is not passive, waiting and being passive, sitting on your hands hoping she figures out you like her, hoping she makes the move, hoping the situation resolves itself. That is not masculine. That is fear with a polite mask on. A high-value man is direct. He is decisive. He sees what he wants and he moves toward it with confidence. He doesn't hint. He doesn't wait for the perfect moment. He creates the moment. Bravery in this context is not about being aggressive or imposing. It is about having the courage to be clear about who you are and what you want without apologizing for it. A man who waits passively is leaving his life up to chance. A high-value man takes ownership of his direction, including in his relationships. The fourth thing is that a high-value man knows how to be alone. This is one of the most underrated traits a man can develop. Because most men are terrified of being alone, they would rather be in the wrong relationship than have no relationship at all. And that fear is exactly what makes them weak in the presence of women. A high-value man is genuinely comfortable by himself. He enjoys his own company. He has built a life that is full and meaningful without a woman at the center of it. And that wholeness, that self-sufficiency, changes everything about how he interacts with women. He's not desperate. He's not needy. He's not trying to fill a void. He's inviting someone into a life that's already worth living. And women can feel that. They can feel when a man needs them versus when a man chooses them. and they want to be chosen by a man who doesn't need them to survive. The fifth thing is that a high-value man will ignore a woman who is misbehaving. This is where most men fail completely. When a woman acts up, when she's disrespectful, when she's testing boundaries, when she's being inconsistent or manipulative, the average man tries harder. He explains himself, he apologizes, he chases harder, trying to win back her approval, and every single one of those responses rewards the bad behavior. A high-value man does the opposite. He withdraws his attention, not as punishment, not as a game, but as a natural consequence of his standard. If you are disrespectful to me, I am no longer interested in giving you my time. Simple, clean, no drama. No long conversation about it. Just a man who values himself enough to not accept treatment that is beneath his standard. And what is fascinating is that this response, the calm withdrawal of attention, is more powerful than any argument or confrontation could ever be. It communicates something that words cannot. It says, I am not chasing you. I am not negotiating my dignity for your approval. Take it or leave it. The sixth thing is that a high-value man is direct. He does not waste time. He does not play games. He does not string women along or lead them on or keep options warm on the back burner. Without being clear about what he wants, he is honest about his intentions. He says what he means. He moves with clarity and conviction, because his time is valuable, and he respects it enough to not waste it on situations that are going nowhere. Proverbs 4:25 says, "Let your eyes look directly forward, and your gaze be straight before you." That's a high-value man. His eyes are fixed on where he's going. He doesn't get distracted. He doesn't get pulled into situations that don't align with his direction. He is focused. And that focus, that directness, is something women respond to even if they don't always say it out loud. The seventh thing is that a high-value man does not change his plans for a woman. His vision, his schedule, his goals, his mission. These do not bend because a woman wants something different. Now, this is not about being rigid or selfish. It is about having a life that you actually value. If you drop everything every time a woman calls, if you rearrange your entire week to accommodate someone who hasn't even committed to you, you are communicating that your plans don't matter, that you don't matter. And if you don't value your own time, why would anyone else? A high-value man has structure. He has direction. And the right woman will respect that structure instead of trying to dismantle it. She will fit into his life. She will work around his mission, because she understands she is joining something that was already built. And that is what makes her want to be part of it. The eighth thing, and this is the foundation of everything, is mindset. A high-value man knows his worth. He doesn't just say it. He actually believes it in his bones. He knows he is attractive, not because of arrogance, not because he thinks he's better than everyone, but because he has done the work. He has built himself. He has invested in his body, his mind, his finances, his faith, his character, and that investment has created a man who carries himself differently. He walks into a room and he knows who he is. He doesn't need a woman to confirm it. He doesn't need her approval to feel good about himself. He is already solid. And that solidity, that unshakable certainty about who he is the single most attractive thing a man can possess. Women are drawn to a man who knows his worth because that kind of man is rare. Most men are still looking for a woman to tell them they're enough. A high-value man already knows. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Being a high-value man is not about ignoring women because you don't care. It's about having a life so full of purpose and direction that desperation has no room to exist. It's about valuing yourself enough to hold a standard. It's about being the kind of man that women pursue rather than the kind of man that chases. That shift from chasing to being pursued doesn't come from games or tactics. It comes from genuinely becoming the man who has something real to offer. The man who is building something. The man who knows who he is. The man who walks with God and works for the crown. Walk with God while you work for the crown. When he crowns you king, tell the world of the truth you found. That's king-level mindset. Kings don't beg, kings don't bow, kings build.